Hey guys, what's up? Vincent ADK here. Today I wanted to talk a bit about the most recent Dead by Daylight Q&A live stream. This was streamed on the 20th January 2022. I will go over some answers which I find interesting. I also shortened them. So yeah, I would say let's start with the Boon Circle of Healing nerf. They will nerf it down to 65, 70 and 75% healing speed. They will keep looking into it, how it performs, and if it needs some more changes, they will do that. Decisive Strike will never be base kit, but Borrowed Time on the other hand is not completely off the table. There wasn't much said more than that Decisive Strike will never be base kit. The question was basically if Decisive Strike and Borrowed Time will be base kit, and they said no to Decisive Strike. They are still working on Switch cross progression. They want to deliver the best experience possible. Since the whole cross progression system is very complicated, it will take some more time. They can't give an exact date, but they are on it. Same goes for console cross progression. That art is being looked into. That means how it interacts with certain killer mechanics, for example, the Blight Dash and the Nemesis tentacles. Also, how it works in general. They are still looking into it, what they can do about it to make it feel better, work better, and how it's balanced. More quality of life features and changes will come. Nothing specific at the moment though. There won't be any early game mechanics. They tried some stuff in internal testing, but it wasn't fun. It made the game feel worse, so no. Some ideas getting recycled and put into other things though. There was a question about performance. The 60 FPS for consoles and low-tier PCs, and they are basically working on it. The previous year was all about GPU optimization, and they are currently working on CPU optimizations. So they are basically working on making it better. If it will hit 60 FPS soon, I can't really say, or they can't really say either, but they are working on optimizations. They are looking into and working on the Dead by Daylight grind, aka the blood web. They can't say much at the moment, but they are working on it, and these great rewards are not band-aid fixes to that, so don't worry about it. They are still looking into it, and it's not ignored or something like that. Perk tiers are here to stay. They won't be removed. There won't be a match replay system. They would need to rework everything, the whole game, so no. Bots will most likely be never implemented to combat disconnects. On paper, the idea sounds good, but if those bots do some dumb shit, for example, they will not unhook you, that won't really help the situation either. They are aware of cheaters and are working and combating that behind the scenes. So they are not really ignoring your calls. They are working on it. They don't want to say anything public because they don't want to say, this was an exploit, or this could be exploited, because cheaters and hackers could actually take this and make then other cheats. So they are always combating that in the background. If you find some exploits or saw some cheaters, please contact the developers directly in private or through their proper forums. Just don't do it openly. Gen speeds won't be touched. They tried some things with getting a specific item at the start of the match, but that wasn't really fun, so that won't be touched. But they are looking into the meta and what they can change around to make it more to make it not as stale and stuff like that. They are also looking into face camping. They have an internal prototype finished, and this will be tested internally soonish. This will still take some time, and no drop kicking killers, so no, this not. But they are looking into face camping and what to do about it or against it. There was also a question about the killer's survivor distribution. This seemed to be getting dodged or maybe misunderstood, because they didn't really say anything about numbers, so they didn't show stats of that. I would love to see that. They basically said it depends on the time of day and which day it is, and that it is shifting all the time. So in general, I want to see more stats. So if I can encourage the devs to show more stats, please do that. I find that really interesting. Like the killer survivor distribution would be really interesting. I would understand if you don't want to show that. I would understand that, but I am really curious. Also more stats, how killers perform, which add-ons are being used the most, and yeah, stuff like this. And more perk stats, that would be amazing. I always love to see that. I still want to say a little bit about face camping and the current meta. I also have another video about it. I will link this in the description and in the info box and the end card. I play both sides, and I can say as survivor, it is not fun to get camped or get tunneled whatsoever. It is, for me, I'm speaking for me here, it is zero fun. It is really zero fun. It is even to the point where I just say, okay, those games were really bad, I dropped the game for at least a week or something like that. I mean, that's totally fine. I play other things and I think that's healthy, but this can get a little bit dangerous. I think you know what I mean. You don't really want people quitting, so there needs to be something done about it. And I think it was more nuanced. So I have to say this in general. I really condensed it down. A lot of these answers were much more nuanced. I will leave the link to the Q&A, of course, in the description as well. I just made it so it flows better and it's faster, so you understand what's up. But if I understand it correctly, I understand that the matchmaking system and the skill-based matchmaking ratings or the MMR system is pretty complicated, and it's really hard to put specific things in, and I really understand it. But if it's really like this is only counts kills, or if you survived, that really doesn't show skill. You can survive a game because your teammate looped the killer for 5 gens. And then this happened to me a few times as well. I looped the killer for the whole game. Then I get hooked and face camped. I lose. My team can escape, and I am getting punished for that. I don't like that whatsoever. I really understand if this can't get really put into a system like this. I understand that. But I just want to say how infuriating this is from a player's perspective. Also, maybe it is a better way if everyone gets... I don't know if you can make it baseline or say, okay, because you loop the killer for 5 gens, the others, since they are on the same team, they get the reward as well. I don't think that's also good, because those people are getting into higher MMRs and can't really loop them, for example, or can't really loop as well. So I guess they fall down then and it will equal it out, but yeah, I just want to state my frustration. So there needs to be something done. Also, I will show the killer stats as well. And I know I will make myself look really bad saying this, but I think Bubba is a little bit of a problem because how he is being played with the whole camping and tunneling thing. And this has, I'm sorry, for me this has nothing to do with skill. There is no skill involved to stay around a hook. And it is not even exciting. I tried this myself as killer. It is not, at least for me, it is zero fun. It is boring. I feel like an asshole. And usually, if you would chase survivors normally, you would get much better results. So there must... I understand you guys are looking into it, but from my perspective, you have to do something against this. It's really bad. It is really bad. And those players, they can't even loop properly, even as killer. You really see that they play Bubba and they just use their one-shots. That's not skill. Play Bubba. The skill ceiling of Bubba is not really high. You use your chainsaw and the only thing you have to count into is not getting stuck on things. That is not really much. There must be something done, so I only can say that for myself. Also, from a survivor's perspective, there's also something different. Hook bombing. That you get unhooked by someone who has another build, doesn't have borrowed time, and if this happens, for example, in higher MMR, yeah, you have a really, really awesome time. That is sarcastic, by the way. It sucks. It really sucks. This happens. That happens a lot, and it really sucks. You get unhooked from a person where you think, why do you unhook me? I'm literally 2 seconds on the hook. The killer is around and you unhook me and I'm getting downed. Of course, the killer could choose not to do it. I do that. If I see that, I don't do that. In fact, I will make sure that person hook bombing getting removed from the game because it's absolutely unfun. I guess looking into borrowed time being basket, but I personally don't believe that's the best answer to that. There needs to be a little bit more, I think, and I hope you can see that. And I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit harsh, but it is so unfun. Really, it really sucks. If I get that 1, 2, 3 times, I'm done for the day. I don't want to play the game anymore. It's awful. So that is my input on that. With the skill-based matchmaking, what I said with you loop the killer for 5 gens, you get killed and you're getting punished. It's also not fun. So I really understand it is complicated. And I personally believe the matches that I have gotten better before for me at least. I know that is very unpopular what I say, but before the skill-based matchmaking, I had really, really awful games. I mean really awful games. And of course I still get awful games, but much, much less than before. So that is at least my perspective. And yeah, please try to fix the current meta. It is so boring. If you're going against tire killers, you basically need borrowed time, maybe decisive strike, you need dead hard, and that's and then maybe you take something like Unbreakable or Kindred, so you have information and solo queue environments, and you have so many cool perks. I understand. Sure, I could use those perks. I really could use those perks, no issue. You're getting tunneled or camped all the time, so that's also not fun. You can't even play for 2 minutes. Sometimes it feels like that, so maybe you see that you have so many amazing perks. Please try to do something against it. Maybe look into those killers, for example. I'm sorry if I take Bubba again, but it's a bit much, I think. I think Bubba needed a rework, and when the rework happened, you guys overdid it a little bit. I'd say that over the top, but you basically killed Hillbilly, but you made Bubba this ultimate god. It's usually when I see a Bubba player, it's always camping, tunneling, and always lame gameplay. If you loop him normally, most of them suck really, and if you are outpositioned, yeah, GG. So that's not fun whatsoever. I don't say you should shit on every Bubba player or something like this, because there are also good players out there, but yeah, there needs to be something done. That's not fun. So that's my perspective. Please let me know your perspective in the comments, and with that said, I would say take care, guys, and bye bye. Toodaloo. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day, guys. Stay safe out there. Vincent out. Bye bye.